Journal entry 32, Travels and Travails, and forgive me if I misname things. Inscribed by Thormun of Tayloron on this, the 24th day of Ravenvig. I walk on, and on, and on, and on, past golden pillars, each guarded by its own bronze skin statue. They look forward, unfocused, masked faces set like stone. More of the same bronze Kiri lead in front of us and follow from behind. The golden dome of Einar's palace ducks in and out of view as the arches of the long bridge float by overhead. Below me, I see the still waters of Mirror Lake reflecting in the rare scene. Seldom do visitors come unbidden to the Golden Palace. By the way, Renegade, make a Golden Palace. A waft of sage and wildflowers drifts past my nostrils as two thick gem-encrusted doors are pulled open on noiseless hinges. Light floods the vast room, streaming in through tall windows lined up in rows. Deep purple, heavy curtains hang parted on either side of those windows like great locks of hair parted to reveal a bright face. 4 giants of white marble hold up the ceiling with brawny arms and bulging backs. The winged giants hold such fine detail that an onlooker might fear them coming to life and abandoning their posts, leaving the ceiling to collapse in upon the tiny Kiri beneath them. Slowly we walk forward, passing the giants as we approach the throne, standing only as tall as their broad shins. There on the throne sits a dark-haired Kiri adorned in golden armor, studded with amethysts, as he stands and takes one step forward. His violet cape rises and falls smoothly again behind him. Everyone else in the room falls to one knee, and I alongside them. The very sight of his majestic face and broad shoulders, the way he moves and holds his head just so, makes one feel as if they belong on their knees, as far below the mighty Einar as they can manage to stoop. Skateboard. Okay. Rise, visitors, and tell me, what is it that brings you to the Golden Palace? A deep voice thunders off the granite walls. I rise to my feet at its command. I've been laying out my words since departing from the Montfer Manor. Carefully, I practice how each syllable should be pronounced and the timing of my breaths between sentences. All of that is lost at the sound of his voice. I search my mind for the stored up words and push them past a tight throat. Einar, your lordship, we've come on behalf of the Valkyrie Jandar, Ullr, and Vidar, seeking an alliance against the atrocities of Utgard. That is all I managed to force out before my throat cuts off my words in a squeak. I bow my head and fix my gaze to the floor, avoiding the drilling stare of Einar's dark eyes. We all fight the same adversary. Already our alliance stands unspoken, yet the sharing of spoken words and coordination of efforts may yield great benefits to all involved. The realm of Bleakwood stands betwixt us, and it would seem a deterrent to such an alliance. Or is the opposite true? Is a surrounded enemy not more easily defeated? I managed a nod of agreement when Einar pauses, as if the questions posed are not rhetorical. Einar leans over and speaks into the ear of an aging Kiri dressed in long flowing robes. The old man lifts a hook nose into the air as he turns and shuffles out of the room via a small door behind and to the right of the throne. When he returns again, 4 Kiri follow after him, all beautiful women, all dressed in deep violet. Each one carries a mirror with a golden frame of intricate design. These are a prized possession. I had to read that 3 times. Announces Einar. The fabled looking glasses of Valentilla. One will stay here with me. The other 3 will go out with you, to be gifted unto Jandar, Ular, and Vidar. The mirrors are magically linked so that when a certain word is spoken, no one can peer into the mirror before them and see and speak with whomever stands in front of the other 3 sister mirrors. Each mirror requires a different word. I know the words of all 4, and the 4 servants of the looking glasses know the only word of their own mirror. Each will speak their word to no one but whom I have given them permission to speak it to. They will travel with you and stay with their mirrors. Protect the servants of the looking glasses of Valentilla, or their words will be lost from you, and the mirrors will be useless. Whew.
They have Zoom call? They just... is that...
This, well, it must be hard to get a date in Valhalla.
You have to manifest a mirror, give it a name, give it a code word, activate it. That's fantastic. So wait, I guess going into the context of things, so they each have their own words to activate it, but how do they do it to call who they want to talk to? Are they just all linked? So it's almost like, okay, it's like a webcam, right? So if you just turn your webcam on, anybody who also has the webcam on also is seeing them.
But you need a password. You need to make sure you're not a bot.
Right.
Right.
And everyone has their own code to get into the mirror.
Exactly. You know, given
and there's only 4 mirrors.
Yeah, given by someone else. So this is interesting. So we kind of know this story. So this is a precursor of when before Einar joins basically the group to
the alliance.
Rise up. Yeah, the alliance to rise up against Dukar. And this is Thormun himself going as basically an emissary on behalf of Jandar to Einar to get that help. And so just the things that came to my mind when I was reading this is that Golden Palace, it's like, okay, we need a Golden Palace. You know, that's something that I would really like to see. Now with High Ground Tiles, they made a Colosseum, almost like an Einar Colosseum in a sense. I think that's what they were going for, and it's a really very nice bit of 3D printed work. I still have yet to put. I've 3D printed a lot of it, but I still have yet to put it together. And it's just a very massive thing. But it gives you that Einar type of vibe because that's the cultures he's kind of bringing in.
Right.
To that, but you also see someone that's very gaudy. Like Einar's probably the wealthiest of all the Valkyrie generals, if I'd have an opinion on that.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if let's see here, if you have a golden dome, if the dome of the ceiling of your palace,
gotcha. So Thormun.
Gold.
So, because I have a reading comprehension problem, so I just want to summarize what we are learning from this passage. So, Thormun has gone to on the 24th day of Ranvig, which I don't remember what Ranvig was.
It's a month.
Oh, it's a month.
It's a month.
Oh, because there's Ranvig, the wind
Right.
Glyph. So, okay. Anyway,
Yeah, it's like saying the 24th day of April. You know, it's
right.
yeah. It's kind
Gotcha.
of those things, yeah.
So he's heading out to Einar's palace, which is a golden palace. It is very ritzy and fancy. And then what? Einar is telling him about the mirrors and how they work. And that's pretty much what we get out of that.
Right. Einar, like apparently Thormun's a little bit intimidated by Einar. Although I think Einar was already prepared for this for this type of thing. So gives basically the answers. Wait, where is it? Yeah, we all fight the same adversary. Already our alliance stands unspoken. So basically saying we're already kind of allied already just by, the circumstances. Yet sharing of spoken words and a coordination of efforts may yield great benefits to all involved. The realm of Bleakwood stands betwixt us, and it would seem a deterrent to such an alliance. Or is the opposite true? It is a surrounded enemy, or is a surrounded enemy not more easily defeated? So he gives this like hypothetical, not really hypothetical. He's basically saying, okay, yeah, I'm going to join you guys, and here's how we're going to communicate. That's basically what he's saying there. With all
gotcha. Okay, so he seems to be more of a strategist too.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Because it's like you guys.
That makes sense. Yeah, go ahead.
Because it's so, as I was just saying, at that point, it's like, well, okay, I'll join your alliance, but how are we communicating? Like, how are we planning our next attack? Like, are you just everyone's gonna keep sending their own, journalist or visitor, to every time, do we not have owl technology, sending owls with messages? Like, Thormun's just going to show up every time?
Harry Potter, Joe. You're thinking Harry Potter there. It's like we're into Pokemon.
You're telling me they couldn't train, what's the owl's name? The three-eyed owl that we have now.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing. I know what you're talking about. Get the name. My goodness. How dare you bring up things that I can't remember? Now you make me look silly. No, I'm kidding.
Dude, there's like over 300 or more characters in the game. Like, it's amazing that anyone remembers everything and plus all of their abilities.
Credit to everybody who can do that.
Honestly.
And credit to we do have another content creator that just came up that we'll give a shout out later to that I think has done that actually type of thing.
By the way, Bill Flint says many that is the windiest month of the year.
Maybe that is the windiest month of the year. I think that's what he meant to say. Ranvig. Yeah, it's probably March. Because March is pretty. It's been pretty dark windy. So yeah, that's. But it's another thing I think. They need to make a Valhallan calendar. However many.
Also,
months, and, put those months down.
Exactly. Also, great question by Skateboard. What's the currency in Valhalla?
Well, spring water.
No, that's.
But no, that's a good point.
I mean, there's a lot of questions. I feel like even like, what's the culture now? Like, especially with AOA, like, what's the culture? What's the music they listen to? Do they listen to music at all? How do they entertain themselves? Is just war 24/7? Like, that's exhausting.
They're.
But that's a great question. Like, what's the currency? How do they pay for things? Is it a barter system? Which I assume at this point. But
you're at war. I imagine there's a lot of couriers for a lot of things because it's just endless war.
A lot of command couriers.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they got them. That's why I have Vidar.
Yep. That's why Vidar is part of the alliance.
he's the tech guy, so he's the mailing system guy, so obviously he had to join because he's got this underground mailing no underground mailing system, but yes it is. But it's interesting. Like when it comes to the history of Valhalla, it depends on how far back you want to go, because you have the age that they're at currently with the discovery of the well springs. Before that, there were civilizations that came and went, broken. That's why you have a lot of ruins, a lot of ruinous things, especially like in Lar region and others. And then during the period of this time of the well springs being discovered and lots of battles happening, you have civilizations just being wiped out, with on Valhalla. So it's just completely stressed. So when you're that war torn, currency ends up becoming very different, because you just look in like your own form of like human history. It's really hard to have any type of normalcy or mail service when like mailing service or currency. I mean, that ends up getting replaced, or just abandoned, depending on the currency, and you have just a lot of confusion. So I imagine it's the same thing here when it comes to currency and bartering. I think like you probably have a Jandar currency, you probably have currency and those types of infrastructures within their own realms as best as they can manage, because you have to do something. This is just me thinking as a storyteller. I don't know much about it. I don't even know if that much was thought of. So it'd be an interesting thing to bring up in the future, because we need to know these things, because that's it starts bringing that world closer to you. It feels more familiar. It feels authentic. So it's good questions. It's very good questions.
No, and like I said before, like I have a reading comprehension problem. I have a hard time with reading and understanding what's going on. So I really appreciate.
I stumbled on this text a lot myself too, trying to read through this stuff.
But like I said, I really appreciate us going through this and being like, okay, what is actually happening here? Like, what is all this fancy words telling us?
Right, and these looking glasses are very interesting, these mirrors. Now, are they, because actually when I first thought of them, I thought of them as like some big square things, that you would get like on Amazon.
Like obelisks.
Something like that, But now I don't know. They could be like, just like little looking glasses that, they carry.
They could be small.
I was just thinking of some big square thing that I have in my house that you just,
It doesn't say the size, it just says mirrors.
I think it's just mirrors. Does it give the dimensions? Let's see.
I don't think it's dimensions.
Dimensions of the mirrors. We need the dimensions of the mirrors.
Yeah. What's their measurement system? Do they use a metric system? How do they measure things?
Oh dear.
It's by hexes, apparently.
It's by hexes.
What's the size of an actual hex?
It's a hex-shaped mirror. There you go.
Yes.
Yes. And then we get into Lord of the Rings. The mirror sees many things that are, things that were, things that that they may not, the things that the mirror may not intend.
I mean, look, if the current lore council ever listens to this, these are questions that kind of help ground the world a little bit more and allow us as the fans to relate to it more. That's how I see it. It connects us to what we're looking at. Lore, like world building, is so important. I'm sure they're fully aware of that. But until we get to that new stuff, because I don't know, I haven't read any of this stuff. I know you have, but I have not. I'm going from what we are now to the future, which I don't know if we'll ever go over it again. But when we finish the journal entries, I'd like to go. I'll go read it myself.
Journal, and if we do it, it's like it'd be journal entries continued or something, to where or journal entries revisited. If we like, I'm 80 years old, and we just
okay,
we're gonna 40 years from now we're gonna like revisit these things, and we're gonna give you the scoop.
As you're saying Thormun, your teeth are falling out.
When I say Thormun, Thormun with a. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm making fun of old people now. We're just going like, I'm sorry, that everybody in the chat, like, your comedy is gold. You know, it's lovely, and I can't help but try to be.
And great questions. I love it. It's good conversation.
But now let's see. Okay. Let me just see. Einar leans over, speaks to them, blah, 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 okay, the man is all dressed.
What are you talking about?
I'm just rereading what was said, and I do it very fast, and so all you hear is words, and you're like, what
I understand. Because if I was a listener on Spotify, I'd be like, this guy had a stroke.
Yes, that too. Okay, here it says that each one carries a mirror with a golden frame of an intricate design. So that's the only description. So it's gold. It's a mirror that has a golden frame. So it could be just something handheld. It'd have to be something that's big enough, though, for Thormun to observe. You know, and they're probably holding it like, okay, you can't see my face, but you can see this mirror. You know, if it's a handheld something. That's gold.
I would assumingly, because a huge Shrek fan, I would assume it's the size of a normal full body. I mean, it could be this. I mean, are the Valkyrie any bigger? Are Valkyrie any bigger than? But
these are
normal humans.
These are beautiful Kiri women, though, too. So you have to actually see them to know that they're beautiful. So it can't be that big to where they're holding it and they can't see them. You know. So
I see.
They have to be. They have to be like carrying size, because how would it look? How would it look if they're carrying these? Like if they have to go with Thormun to, to Jandar, to Olar, to.
They do have to carry it back.
They have to carry the mirror with them. So
they don't have a bag of holding,
lumbering along with them, unless they have Let's see. This presents another question. Do they have carrying cases? That Mary Poppins style, it's like just this little thing, and they
the bag of holding.
And they stuff the mirror, in there, and that way they just carry it on the back, so you don't know you have a huge mirror, that can be. So who knows? And they call it a mirror, not a looking glass. So, it's got to be big enough to notice, but small enough to notice the beautiful, Kiri woman that is holding them.
Sure.
Too. So. Yeah, it's got to be somewhere in between, big and just looking glass type thing. So anyway, right. That's an interesting.
You also saying that these Kiri women are holding it like they're like a tripod? They're just holding it up to Einar, like, hey, you're getting a call,
true.
And they just
we don't know how big a handle is,
True.
Yeah, that's I don't think anybody knows. The world,
even for those,
never know, it's like how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll or Tootsie Pop. Okay, go ahead.
Exactly. Those listeners that are not live, let us know. Comments below,
or on Spotify.
Do you want more world building in Heroscape?
Absolutely.
Do you guys have answers for us? For any of the questions that we've been bringing up, please let us know. Let's talk about it.
Absolutely. And let me know what Valentella is. The glasses of Valentella. I'm sure that explains probably a lot of it, and I'll probably have to do some research later. If a certain someone who isn't with us tonight, we'd probably say the name, he'd probably give a 5-minute discussion on just that name. But
and that's people are asking for him. But I will say, if he was here, I don't know if we would ever get a chance to talk. Because he will answer that question with a 5-page paper that we would have to read.
Poor guy is working so hard on lots of things, not just a day job, but well as other lore. So we're glad when we can get him, and he did so much with me the last few weeks when it came to Wave 4. So I'll give the man a break. We just leave it as a mystery and for all, just to research. The Valentella. I'm sure it's on the wiki. Because he owns the wiki too. VALENTELA, and find out what you need to know. So this is homework for y'all too. And I want to comment below so we can talk about it next ToV podcast as a comments. But so that's definitely. Let's see. I can. Let's see. There's a lot of wonderful comments, but I'll just look at it real quick. let's see here. If it's anything about this one's serious questions. There's a lot of funny ones. No, okay, I'll go through all those comments later. So yeah, I say, Joe, if there's no other thoughts on your end, I think for me,
No, I think we're good with 32.
yeah, like I said, it's just really cool to look on like how gaudy Einar actually is. I mean, he's militaristic, but he's also got a lot of wealth. Again, my guess he's probably the wealthiest Curie out of all of them to just show off this way. If everything's made of gold, he's got to have some wealth. Just so it gives us a look on what Einar is actually like. But yeah, with that is taking a look at journal entry 32, Travels and Travails, as written by Thormun.